from going from Louisiana, a small town in Louisiana, over to Texas A&M. And while I was there, I was fortunate enough to be the starting quarterback for Texas A&M.
No kidding.
And also played shortstop and center fielder for A&M in baseball.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
And then lettered in all those sports, obviously. I just jotted that down. Then I entered the Air Force after I completed A&M in 1954. And I retired from the Air Force a couple of years ago.
Oh, what prompted you to join the Air Force
Well,
as opposed to other branches?
I went to Texas A&M,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of effort to promote the military. But more important than that, my brother was a brigadier general and retired as a general officer, major general, from West Point.
Oh, wow.
And, I had an offer to go to West Point, but I wanted to be closer to home. I was a young kid, you know, I was 18 years old. I was grateful that I was offered an opportunity to go to West Point, but I wanted to stay around home. I was an old mountain boy, you know. That's where I went from just a football player at Texas A&M
To a soldier.
to what I considered a high honor. I was a colonel in the Air Force. I was a commander in several operations I was in, and retired at Randolph Air Force Base.
So out of those, how many
333 combat missions.
combat missions?
Yeah.
Which one stands out the most to you out of those 300?
Oh gosh, you never knew what you were going to do. My last mission there was one. It was a night mission, and I volunteered for this thing, even though I knew I was leaving the next morning. And this is all hell broke loose. We were making a bombing mission on this village that we needed to exterminate. And they'd been waiting for us, I guess. And there was a lot of activity. Luckily, I was not hit, but we did lose one of the planes. And I got back, and we had, of course, a debriefing of what's happened and everything else. I put on my clothes, and after that, was waiting for the plane I was leaving out the very next morning at about 7 o'clock. This was a night mission.
What plane were you flying in?
I was flying an A-37. This was they took an airplane, the T-37, and rigged it up where it would fly. You could take bombs, which we did, and never none of our thing. And we had a good firing system for so that was that airplane proved very, very good airplane for us there. And it's just a single engine airplane, and so you either were there or you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I was so elated. I didn't sleep at night. This was a night mission. When I got back, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And so I just chalked that up. This is no sleep time. I had to get all my stuff ready to get in the airplane, come home, so which I did.
So, you flew mostly bombing missions. Is that correct? Or would you say you did all kinds?
This was a plane that they converted, and we dropped napalm bombs. We did all the things. We were not. We had guns, and we used guns if need be. But you got to remember that war down there. They didn't have many military airplanes against us. We bombed most everything, but we're not talking about bomb. I'm talking about we're dropping these things off of our airplanes, and we're very elusive. And
a lot different than those big aircrafts in World War II. Yeah.
Yeah. This is single
jet engine.
Yeah. Part of my training, I ran the instructor school at Randolph for 4 years.
And for people who don't know what Randolph is, can you explain that?
Randolph Air Force Base. It's in San Antonio, Texas. It was named Randolph for one of the people that they were honoring. This is back in a long time ago. But it's in San Antonio, Texas, and it's where you take the pilots that have already been trained and done other things to come back and become your school for instructor pilots to put you into other areas of where their training is. So we train the instructors.
Gotcha.
And that's still the way it's going right now. We were expecting you to do your job, you do that job, and another job somewhere. I was the operations officer for a flying squadron. And this is when we had about 13 or 14 airplanes that are dropping bombs and shooting bad guys.
Yeah.
And this goes around the clock. We don't have a
Free time.
No.
Yeah.
So you not only protected yourself by having airplanes flying at night against them, you kept them from having their assets coming back at you the next day. And we did a very good job of that. It's kind of like, if you want to look at it, 24 hours of hell for those.
So my grandpa was in Vietnam too. He was a fighter pilot. He's, I don't know, I think he took 6 tours, I believe. But one thing he always told me was when he came back home, there was a lot of people that really mistreated the soldiers. And I mean, like, he would get off the plane and they were throwing their trash at him, spitting on
We
him.
have those people that have never served their country.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole damn bill. Yeah, I know all these.
Yeah.
And once or twice I did something that was foolish. I knocked the hell out of them.
That's how it should be.
As you should have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that.
He said kind of the same.
You're never going to get that group. They're the fringe groups that never did a damn thing in their life, so they're going to contradict you, they're going to say bad things about you,
Criticize
because
you.
it makes them feel something that they're aloof to.
Yeah.
They're, my goodness. I'm glad we don't have those people to lead us.
Yeah.
We have good people, we've got good enlisted people. We have a good, not only a good force, good people.
Yeah.
It's things, different types of medals that you've received over the year. These tells you your pilot status, whether you're a flyer or not. And this is when you first are a lieutenant or a captain or a major, and then you get to be a lieutenant colonel. These are different things that a commander. I haven't done a very good job of explaining this, but these indicate somewhere down here your longevity. These are all things where your rank, this is a lieutenant, second lieutenant, first lieutenant. This is a major, this is a captain, major, lieutenant colonel, and a full colonel. There's colonel, command pilot. There's a, it's progress of where you started down here, and where you go.
So did any mission in particular land you any of these medals?
No. No, nothing one does anything. You got where you were. They've selected you to do certain things. You did it, we're even. Now, if you take this and you have something that you've done that you probably didn't want to do or even were afraid to do, but you did it anyway, that's when you start getting those medals and things. After I came back from Vietnam, I flew 333 combat missions in Vietnam.
Wow.
And I stayed on for a couple of additional years, and then I retired. I had exactly 28 years and 6 months. Every once in a while I sit down and look at these things, not to see me from that, but to recognize all the guys I loved and went to battle with and everything else. I'll pick up the phone and I'll call some of my friends. Hey, I'm calling you. They say, we know you're on the other end. It's the same old horse shit we do, you know. If I could do it all over again, if they needed me, I'd go back and do it again. Sure.
So we're filming, this is for a school project.
Okay.
So right now you're talking to the youth of America right now. So
Good.
if you could say anything to students my age, 18-year-olds, what would you tell them?
Do your homework. And, you know, take pride in what you do, and also take responsibility. You're the people we're counting on. We are too old. We can't do what we used to do. We think we can, but we've got to have somebody else there, and you're the ones. So every time you go to school, do your work, do your best to be a good citizen, and everything will take care of itself. We're real proud of the youth of the day. So keep up the good work.